Hi, this is Brother Teacher. Let me say this before I begin this particular video segment. I want to say I love all of you all that are out there who are watching me now and who have been watching me over time, over the years. Just something from the heart. Some people may not be used to this type of accolades and, how should I say, emotion that comes from another human being, especially someone who you don't know personally, up close and personal, I should say, who you have not had any interactions with on a personal level. But I consider this personal to a great degree when people interact with me, and over a period of time, we get to know one another fundamentally. With that said, those that may be coming across this particular channel who I have not been acquainted with as of yet, I love you also. And to those of you that may be trolls who don't like my material, who every once in a while you give me a thumbs down, I love you also. Whether you want me to or not, I still love you. End of that. So, this particular video is touching on cancer. How to prevent cancer. Things that you can do to prevent cancer. Comprehend or understand this. I've said it before many times and I'm going to say it again. Most of the things that happen to us, good and bad, are the result of our own actions or inactions. There are some things that we can do to prevent and or alleviate the symptoms of cancer, along with obliterate it altogether or prevent it from even occurring in the first place. Understand this. We have cancer cells in our bodies all of the time. Do you want me to say it again? We have cancer cells in our bodies all of the time. We've always had cancer cells in our bodies. What happens is that the cancer cells multiply exponentially when we put toxins in our bodies. Is that fair enough? Do you understand what I'm saying? Cancer cells become so excessive that our body has a difficulty fighting against it. Now, things that we can do to prevent cancer, there's a few that I have on this list. I could say them all out without looking at this list, but I'm going to do it again so I can make sure that I don't forget. If you remove all processed foods from your diet, understand this, ladies and gentlemen, my friends, my brothers, my sisters, my family, my students. If it comes in a package and it has ingredients listed on the package, it's not food. It's not food. Even if it contains some parts of food or some aspects of food, and it has other ingredients added, preservatives, colors, dyes, emulsifiers, synthetic anything, they're all toxic to the human body. So it's not completely food. Food is food. It's nothing else. Nothing to be added to it. Okay? So those extra ingredients, for the most part, are for the appealing of the taste, to look colorful and accepting to the eye, to even smell a certain way, to intrigue you, in other words, and also to preserve that product so it stays on the shelf long enough to be sold. That's why all of those chemicals are in our packaged foods. If you take a chicken, you put it in a package, set it on the shelf, it's going to begin to rot. So they refrigerate the chicken to keep it longer. But after a period of time, the refrigeration is not going to help any longer. It is going to waste away and it's not going to be edible. The same thing is true with produce and any other real organic food. It doesn't last long after it has been killed. That's animals, beef, chicken, pork, and so forth, fish. It's not going to last long if it's produce. Once it's been harvested or pulled out of the ground and off the tree, It's not going to last long. So they use artificial methods to keep it on the shelf so that it can sell. And foods that are packaged, cans, boxes, bags with ingredients, they are kept on the shelf longer because of preservatives, and most of them are synthetic and not healthy for us. You just learned something, didn't you? I know. That's good. Okay, so remove all processed foods from your diet. Remove white sugar and white flour products. Sugar causes cancer. Sugar, white sugar, is very inflammatory. It tastes good, and I love chocolate chip cookies. I do. I do eat chocolate chip cookies even to this day while I'm talking to you. I do. Am I being a hypocrite? No, I'm not. Because I have understanding, and I know how to use moderation, and I know how to detox, and I know how to use temperance, self-control. You only consume just enough and leave it alone. The problem with most of us who are obese, who have hypertension, who have diabetes and so forth, is that we don't have a scale. We don't have a measuring stick to say stop. No one holds us and handcuffs us or ties us up and say that's enough of that when we're eating these pleasure foods or these snacks, these sugary, salty snacks and so forth. Potato chips and the pop and the cookies and the pies and the ice cream and so forth. No one stops us. That's wherein lies the rub. This is when you begin to have health problems. So white sugar, white flour, white rice, white anything. Okay? The next thing, number 3, is dairy. Conventional dairy. Now, I don't do dairy, period. It is said that if you're going to do dairy, do milk raw, because it still has enzymes, it still has some nutritive value to it. It is the conventional milk that's killing us. That's what you see mostly on your shelf. If it is homogenized and it's pasteurized, it's deadly. I don't care how good it tastes to you. I don't care if they turn it into strawberry and chocolate flavor. It's still deadly. Milk produces phlegm or mucus, excess mucus in your body. Your body already has mucus in and around organs and tissues inside the body. It is excess mucus that causes and harbors disease. Understand? So, the milk that we buy or you buy in the store ordinarily, when it's pasteurized, that means it's been heated. There's no nutrition in it. If you look on the containers in the store, it will say fortified with vitamin D, fortified with this or that. Fortified, it means that they added it in there. You can't put something natural in something that you took something out natural. You can't do it. Is there a natural vitamin D tree? Does not happen. Does not exist. So those things that they're putting in our cereal and other products, to include milk, to fortify it with vitamin D and C and E and everything else, it's artificial. Artificial means not real. Okay? Now, it's also homogenized, which means that your milk, when it comes from the factory or during its process, it has clumps of fat. I'm sorry about the phone. Well, as I was saying, milk comes with globules of fat. They're chunks, like hunks of fat. So that doesn't look very appealing if you had a cup of milk or a glass of milk and it has lumps in it, right? So they put it in something like a centrifuge and they spin it. Homogenation. They spin it until those fat molecules break down so you can't see them with the naked eye anymore. But it's there in the milk. Also, cows are given hormones to help them to grow faster. They're also given antibiotics to kill any parasites and any bacteria that might be harmful to us, any disease that they might already have. And guess what? while I'm saying that, cows, we're getting their hormones because they're under stress when they're being milked and when they're being slaughtered. And that's going to be in your meat and also in your milk. Those hormones, those stress hormones. And we are adding those to our own body. So what they eat and what they drink is what we're eating and what we're drinking when we consume them. Understand this. So you have homogenization, if you will. That's not good for us. Not that milk. Pasteurization is not good for us because there's no nutritive value in the milk. Okay, so that's bad. Milk, it we have something called lactate in our bodies when we're children, when we're first born, right? Now, the purpose of lactate is to break down the sugar in your mother's milk, lactose, right? So, once you get weaned off your mother's milk, those of us who drink or have drank our mother's breast milk, which is what nature intended us to do, and not Similac and all that other stuff, once you're weaned off your mother's milk, you're going to drink cow's milk? No. Every animal that's a mammal in nature that drinks milk from its mother, it doesn't drink a different kind of milk. Only human beings. It's not good for us. And so we are all lactose intolerant because lactose is bad for us when we're past the weaning stage. Once we've been weaned off of our own mother's milk, we don't take milk again from another animal because our bodies does not have the capacity to break down the lactose. That's why we are all actually lactose intolerant. Intolerant means not tolerant of lactose because we don't have any sufficient amount of lactate anymore to break the lactose down. I hope you got that. You can rewind this if you want to and replay it. So we are all lactose intolerant, whether you see and or feel symptoms or not. You're going to feel it down the road if you don't feel it now. All right. Now, here's number 4 and number 5. Many of you that have these habits are not going to like what I'm going to say. Guess what? I don't care. I do care about you. I care about your health. I grew up around people that had these habits when I was a child, through my young adulthood, to my senior adult life, and nothing has changed. The excuses are the same, just different people expressing those same excuses. It makes me feel good. I'm grown. You're gonna die of something one day. It calms me down. I'm talking about cigarette smoking, chewing tobacco, which is akin to that as well, and alcohol. That's number 4 and 5 of this video. Cigarette smoking, there's a warning on the packages that it causes cancer, that it causes infertility, that it causes issues if you are pregnant and so forth. It causes cancer, ladies and gentlemen. Cigarette smoking. Now, you can beat around the bush and talk about secondhand smoke all you want to. I'm not talking about secondhand smoke in this video. I'm talking about people who smoke deliberately, intentionally, who go and buy a pack of cigarettes and you light one up. You are killing yourself. So why do you want sympathy? Why do you want empathy for something that you're causing yourself? If you're smoking, it's a habit. If you smoke every day, every other day, it's a habit. Habits can be broken, but guess what? You have to want to break the habit. And you replace that habit, that bad habit, with a good habit. Need I say any more? The same is true when you're chewing tobacco. That's up close and personal. You're putting tobacco in your mouth. A lot of guys in time past were ball players, baseball players, and they'd have it in the side of their mouth, and you see police officers with a clump of it, some skull or some grizzly or some whatever stuck in their cheek. I've heard so many stories of people having mouth cancer as it relates to chewing tobacco. That's it. It causes cancer. It's not going to distinguish one person from the next. Cancer is cancer no matter who you are, no matter what station in life you're in. And finally, number 5, alcohol. Let me back up to cigarette smoking and bring it back into alcohol. Those are multi-billion-dollar industries. That's why they still flourish today. That's why the advertisement is always going to be something to draw the consumer in. You're going to see the prettiest bottles, alcohol bottles, champagne bottles, vodka bottles, whatever, Cristal, and all of these other famous brand names of liquor and alcohol. They decorate the cans, make it look good, fresh from the country, freshly brewed. It doesn't matter how you dress it up on the outside or in the package. It still does the same damage. Alcoholism kills people. Sometimes it kills people that are not you when you drink and you drive. And then you have people say, well, drink responsibly. Tell that to the man who killed himself or somebody else. Now, this is a particular subject that really comes home, I should say, really strikes home with some. It really pushes a button with many people, because I see this every single day of my life. People going into the local convenience store buying beer when they get off of work. Today is Friday, last day of the work week for many people, most people. Guess what they buy? Cases and cases and bottles of beer and wine and coolers, Monaco, Bud Light, whatever. Tons and tons of beer and liquor. For what? It's the weekend. I'm calming down from the week. Whatever happened to God? Can God help you calm down? I'm calming down from all of the pressures that I've experienced through dealing with all my coworkers and my boss, and I'm tired. I'm just going to chill. I'm going to relax. Alcohol does that for you. What about nature? Nature doesn't do anything for you at all. You've got to have a bottle. You've got to get tipsy. You've got to get drunk. You've got to get wasted. You have to be out of your mind. You have to be disruptive and rude. And then after that, oftentimes, there's the hangover. Do good things give you a hangover? Oh, I have a good time last night. Everybody didn't. Some people end up in jail from drinking alcohol because of their behavior. Oh, you say, oh, they don't know how to handle their liquor. Well, why don't someone teach them? What about the system that locks them up and punish them for drinking alcohol, the thing that we call legal, right? Alcohol destroys your liver. It does. It destroys your organs, period. But your liver is one of the main organs that it attacks. And guess what your liver is? It is the organ that is responsible for removing toxins from your body. Now, this is through normal assimilation. When you have a liver and you're eating as wholesome as possible, your liver is performing its duty as normal, dealing with the ordinary toxins. But when you put a toxin that is really a toxin in your body, alcohol and tobacco, you are taxing / overtaxing your liver. And when you do it on a repetitive way, or in a repetitive way, your liver cannot handle the load. So it begins to fail. It begins to break down, and it's not capable of doing its multitude of duties. Your liver is responsible for many functions in the body, even making hormones. You are destroying your lives because of your habit, and that I just want to feel good. I want to get a buzz. I want to go chill. I want to go relax. I want to go hang out. But let me tell you something, where the rubber meets the road, my friends, my brothers and my sisters, whoever you are that's listening to me right now, somewhere down the road, it's going to come back to get you. And many of you that are watching me right now probably know someone that has been the victim of their own vice of drinking alcohol or even smoking cigarettes. I know people personally, to include family members, that have died from alcohol and lung cancer from smoking. Do you? Was it your mom or your dad? Was it your cousin, your uncle? your brother, your sister, your grandparents maybe, that have died from lung cancer from smoking cigarettes, or has died from excess alcohol in their lives. Did you step in and try to prevent them from doing it or encourage them not to do it? You needed to hear this. Whoever you are listening to me and watching me right now, you needed to hear this, and you need to hear this, and you need to hear it on a regular basis. Even if it's you who have the alcohol problem, even if it's you who have the smoking problem, you can put the pack of cigarettes away if you want to. You can cut down if you wanted to. You can put the alcohol down if you want to. You can cut down if you want to until you totally eliminate both of those things. But do you want to? And let me tell you this before I go. If you really wanted to, you would do it. Not preparation. I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to do it next week. I'm going to do it after I finish smoking this last pack of cigarettes. I'm going to do it when I finish the liquor that's in the refrigerator or in my liquor cabinet. I'm going to do it then. But guess what? Most of the time, we never get to it, do we? Until it's too late. And when it's too late, it's too late. So I pointed out things that we can do to prevent cancer. All of those things that I mentioned to you just now, you eliminate those things. You have to start somewhere, even if it's baby steps. But whatever you do, don't stop stepping. You start with a baby step. After a while, you start to graduate a little bit. You start pick up traction. And then after a while, it'll be completely gone. But you must replace it with the right thing. Doesn't mean that you won't go through some form of withdrawal. People who are addicted to things often do. But if you do it subtly, and not necessarily cold turkey for some, but if you do it subtly, slightly, taking baby steps, you can accept the change better. Okay? Take some stock in your life and that of your families. This is Brother Teacher. Comment below and let me know if you have a problem with alcohol and smoking, or if you know someone who does, or someone who has even died as a result of that. Change your diet today. Start drinking more fresh water and real juice. Start juicing. Start eating organically. And take the poison out of your diets. I'm out.